Oh, violence. Come at me, bro. Oh boy, it's gonna be so stupid on Hildryn. But first I need to remove all the shield recharge mods. But I will put blind rage so the abilities cost more shields. And I really don't like that ability duration because it scales up for the efficiency on drain. So I think this one will do it right. I will get some ability strength that's completely irrelevant to what I wanna achieve, but I will lose ability duration instead gaining it, getting me into negatives and increasing the heaven cost even further. And sadly I need to keep that 15 positive efficiency because I want all of the shields possible. So I have 7.8k right now. I don't really know what to put in the last slot, so I'm just gonna put this one to scale up that heaven damage for the one shots. Okay, let's see how it can do. I will just need to press heaven for it to drain my shields. And let's get to the dagger swinging. I mean, it should drain more. I hope it's gonna drain more, since it drains more per enemy. But I guess... Or? Maybe they just don't shoot at me, let me see. Oh, what they do? So, I mean... maybe this will make me go... And I'm gonna shoot the thingy somewhere there. So I lose the shields. Okay. Should be enough. 1k. Oh, nice. Let's see how fast I get them back. It's like no damage build. Let's go over the build and what weapon is it. And the extra setup to get also some healing up. The main requirement for this build are of course shields. So frames like Kullervo, they cannot benefit from that. As sad as it is, you need a shield frame. It doesn't matter how much shields you have, all that matters is you have any shields when you're using the weapon, because the weapon will not leech anything if you have no shields. So having at least brief respite. Also the augur mods for the augur set that gives you energy spent conversion to shields is an excellent addition to this build, especially considering the fact that 2 of them you can equip on your secondary, so you can completely save your Warframe slots. And adaptation is probably the most important mod in the whole loadout because you need your shields to last. You can't get them in steel pad to be shot off by one bullet. The mechanic on the weapon gives you shields and even over shields, but it's still not enough if you want to save your Warframe mod slots for full ability strength as an example. So the 90% damage reduction we gain from adaptation and innate 50% damage reduction on shields should make very good job with keeping the shields up. Especially if we have abilities that return shields like Mold that are instant cast, have no animation and they will just instantly give you some shields for using your energy if you have brief respite or the augur mods, or preferably both. So basically if you have adaptation you don't need any prime 3 direction or any other shield mods, they will help but they are not necessary. Also one of the best primaries for that whole loadout is Sido because of how it primes. And that's with the glaives, you just alternate fire and you can go back to what you were doing before, which is using the melee weapon. And for the last thing that can greatly enhance the entire build is of course Panzer Vulpaphyla and to be exact, Hunter Recovery and the Viral Quills. Viral Quills are of course great for priming enemies with Viral, and Hunter Recovery will make all that damage to be turned into our HP, and with adaptation and shields that will be great, especially when you're facing Infested that will always do some chunks of your HP with the Toxin. Since the construct will just fit the entire loadout perfectly, but beware of using Mystic Bond, since if you will need any shields back instantly via your abilities, it can surprise you that they're gonna be free at that time and you're gonna die because of it, so careful if you wanna use that one. What you could use instead is Duplex Bond that makes the clones of your pet and they distract the enemies, so even better, even safer. But don't forget that Panzer can Pack-a-Punch himself and even his hit proc can heal you greatly with a loadout like this. Unless what you prefer is a Kubro with the full mecha set to get that juicy 2k, 2.5k, 3k sometimes even armor, well, that's an option too if you want to stay alive after your shields break, but trust me, if you do everything properly, your shields will not break. So, first things first, melee influence is completely necessary, there is no way going around without it, there is just no way. You need melee influence because of the kill per minute, it provides the damage overall, the fact it also procs the shield leeching, and I just tried with melee fortification, it's just not gonna work. No. You don't have the damage then, this whole different story, and the armor is not worth it, not at all. Melee influence is the way to go. This is the most broken melee arcane in the game since it got introduced and it lasts till now. This is what you need and it's mandatory. And that leads us to have 3 builds, but first things first, that's a Rakta Dark Dagger, a Red Veil weapon. So basically you buy it from someone that has standing with Red Veil, or if you have it yourself, you can just go to your Red Veil thingy and buy it straight up from them. And the unique trait, Mind Haste, is what does the whole thing. The first part is completely irrelevant for what we're gonna be doing, so I'm gonna skip to the fact that damage to enemies affected by radiation status effect leeches 5% of the damage as shields. So all I wanna say is the fact that the keyword leech here is the most broken part about it. And that brings us to the first loadout, which we're gonna be using if we use Wrathful Advance Helmet, so we're gonna have some crit damage on it. This is for the roll helmets. Those two are definitely the best ones, if to use Roar or the Wrathful Advance. So why we have Focus Radon here? It's purely to increase the stat weight on our radiation. We can't really afford that with Wrathful Advance, cause we need that mod for the crit damage, but with Roar we have one free slot, so that's what we're gonna be using. We always need range, preferably if you have Riven to get even more range. But the most important things are the fact we have Electric, we have Galvanized Elementalist, we have Primed Reach for the range, we have Whipping Wounds to get as many status procs as possible on one single hit, and Blast is just a good way of doing some AoE damage that will also leech the shields. And remember, if you don't have a Riven, the best possible thing you could put is this. It will just give you some extra viral proccing whenever you feel that affinity for the Red Veil. But honestly, if you don't feel like any need of having the blast, you can go for even more flexible build, which is only with the radiation and electric. And remember, you can have both, even though it takes electric and heat to fuse into radiation. If you use mods like this, you can still have both of them. Because the moment you put the heat that requires to build up for the radiation, all of this will fuse into that one element. So careful how you mod, make sure you have the electric standalone for the melee influence, so everything has some electric on it and some radiation on it. If you struggle to restore your shields when you have blast, that purely means that you should drop the blast and get some more radiation with the focus radon in build like this to get more values on the radiation, because that probably means you have very low shields baseline. So mix it and try it yourself to see what fits you best. If you don't mind sacrificing mod slots, you can always use Vigilante Vigor and Fast Deflection to get the faster shield recharge and the shorter shield recharge delay. So you always have some shields, but that's best used in case of something like Lavos, because you can't really use energy to restore your shields like you can on other frames, because he's not using energy, he has cooldowns on his abilities instead. So I think he would be the best frame to show you how the weapon works in action for the whole mission, since other than those two mods there is no way to instantly get the shields back. At least for the loadout I use, because I would never use Pillage or anything like this, because I just simply hate the ability on anything other than Hildryn. So other than adaptation, I will not use any mods that give me more shields, and I will rely only on those two, but trust me, you will not see my shield break even for a moment, so those two are just fine to be even without them. So that's how I'm gonna show you how broken this weapon is. But if you really wanted to use those two recharge ones, you can always enhance it even further with another shield recharge and shield recharge delay in form of Fast Canticle. And we're also gonna be using Naramon for the power spike, so once we build up the combo points, we're gonna keep them up for all the Weeping Wounds goodies it provides. And I remember I said that I will not get my shield broken even for a moment. That's why I will show you on a different frame how it looks like with the Panzer healing. Because here I'm not gonna do any like trolling. I will always just keep my shields up full. I will not let them shoot, so you can like clearly see how it works. I'm just gonna completely erase them with the cheating part from Valence Formation Augment that forces augment on every hit. I mean augment radiation. Because that's only for Lavos. But it actually makes his lack of shield regenerating on abilities quite forgivable. As long as you don't try to like be a target dummy to show something. So that's what I'm gonna like try to do. I will shot some C.O, like I'm needing the radiation prime. And I'm gonna keep the radiation up at all times. And just look my shields. As long as it's a forced proc on radiation, it's gonna be so broken. Like, in case of Lavos, you can go for any, like, stat weight you want. Because you can proc your melee influence. And then you can swap to radiation once you have the melee influence up. So you could go full radiation value, or however the fuck you want. Because Lavos are fucking elementalist. But look the difference without Wrathful Advance. Without Arcane Avenger, yeah, the crit's not the best on Dark Dagger, the Rakta Dark Dagger, so You will be needing that Wrathful Advance if you wanna go for any crit damage, or you're just wasting your mod slot. But look, melee influence is just broken. It gives you AoE. Like, it's not like I'm slacking on the kills. Even though I'm just trying to show you that it helps a lot with the defensive part. Even though radiation became quite weak element in terms of damage output. But with some blast, we can, I guess, do quite well. Let's swap it to blast actually and see how blast will do. The best thing about it, it's a forced separate proc. It doesn't fuck up our stat values really, so yeah. And radiation is also a form of soft CC defensive, you could say, because it makes them hit each other when you do it in AoE spread, so... Like, I never had such a free time on Lavos. This is like better than the mecha set. Straight up, just infinite shields. Only what can like make problems for you is a fucking infested mission. So that's why we need the Panzer. And with adaptation, Panzer should be enough. Unless the Toxin proc just one-taps us. But who the fuck goes for like level cap into infested? Only some kind of a maniac would do that. Right? I mean, forcing the radiation is probably the best way out. Just so you're like sure you're not losing the shields. And that's for the Lavos case, of course. That's 28 million from the heavy. Because we constantly have 12x and they're just 10 OK proc. Just imagine 5% of that being leashed into your shields. Bro, you can easily hit like 100. Imagine you use this on Mirage, yeah? Like, you probably can go for the damage cap, I'm pretty sure, because it's Mirage. Oh no, my shields broke. This is like when the Noctua would be really useful, but... Yeah, break it. Look my HP, how it goes when our Panzer does some damage. Oh, of course he fucking died. Boom, one hit. But yeah, the moment I start talk too much, instead of focusing what's happening, the shit break. But this is why we have the shield recharge mods. Just quite problematic if you took them off, just to show that you don't need them. But we always have the Noctua, because I always use it. For some nice ability strength or whatever mod I have there. I don't even know, honestly, I just know the Canticle, the Exilus is for shields. But yeah, only Lavos could be like a hard case, because if it would be Saryn Vault, you just press the 2 on either of them. No animation, no nothing, instantly gives you shield back. You hit something with the radiation, boom, full shields back. Especially on those two, they are quite the weapon platforms. Full shields. I started getting my shield recharge already, even though it took some time. First hit, proc radiation, because balance formation, full shields. Oh, and I forgot I can use my wand to actually shield gate if I wanna gap close. But maybe not with narrow-minded. Maybe not with Lavos because he fucking makes it on cooldown. The fuck? It's so stupid with Lavos thing. It's like good only in Railjack. Let's see if I can tank him. I mean, they're shooting at me, so he had to die, sorry. So, yes, you can really see Dagger does not struggle in any shape or form with killing acolytes. Not with crit damage. They are also quite vulnerable, I'd say, to blast as the only status effect really. But yeah, let's hop to another frame like Saryn and see how many times over it's better. And building Lavos like this for ability strength is a bit troll, because he doesn't need that many ability strength mods since, you know, he only scaled Wrathful Advance. Everything else is there only to give you the balance formation, the bonus elemental, depending on how you're gonna use it, how you're gonna fuse your elements. And this thing sadly does not scale in any shape or form. It's always that 200% and that's end of the story. So trust me, if you remove that one umbral for ability strength, your damage will not really suffer at all. But putting this will greatly increase his shields, his shield gate, and the amount of overshields he can get. So that alone would make it billion times easier. But enough of Lavos, let's see how it looks like on one of my favorite frames, which is Saryn. And the reason why it's her, it's not mainly because it's my favorite one, it's because how good mold is for all kinds of shield gating things. And since I already used the melee crit version with Wrathful Advance, I'm gonna use the roar version. We will use Panzer in the same loadout and we're gonna use the build for roar. And for everyone out there that hates on those Revens, I'm just gonna use Gleaming Blight instead of the Reven. So this is how it's gonna look like for the test, with the Tonocoin mod of course. Remember here I will have Brief Respite and those two Augur mods on the secondary. Saryn Corrosive gives us some change on the stat weights, but it should be fine. It's such a difference without that attack speed off of the Reven. But I mean, I will not show you really the full run this time, because it's a waste of time. Just take a look. I don't know, let's see if they can shoot it off. How fast I can get it back. I mean, the instant ability cast, you know, for the shield back is just crazy. I'm not sure if I can survive it to show you the Panzer. But let's see if I can survive it to show you with Panzer. If not, I will just swap the frame. So yeah, Panzer was doing some healing, but this is definitely not a frame you can survive on without the shields. At least with a loadout like this. Maybe with the previous loadout I had before I removed the Umbra form as I put before. Maybe then. But I mean, look at that. The crit is low on the weapon, but at least that status, like, works for itself, you know? And that viral proc all around is also really nice. Especially with the fact that you kill so fast, since Saryn is just making the weapon obnoxious. Yeah, let's get some more shots at me. Hello? I mean, yeah, the radiation effect, look. They just don't really bother about me. But shields are so much better than just HP tank. Because that another 50% damage reduction. You can of course use armor, but yeah, over shields are just extra HP by just using a weapon. You can always kill with the weapon if you add the... Yeah, but I will not even mention that mod really. What you should use to heal is the companion. But let's go to the next frame. I will go back to this loadout to show you this on Mirage, just to see how ridiculous damage you can go for if you use something like Mirage. So when you see all the damage now, just remember the 5% of it is always added up to the shields if there is the radiation proc, which should be there somewhere, definitely, so just watch. I actually got a perfect way to start it all. I'm just gonna send Noctua, lose my shields of course to one hit. Boom, Eclipse, Wrathful Advance, it all gives us some shields, and we go to the swing. We press one ability to get shields back, and we finally have the radiation. I mean, every swing's in a million, so you can just picture how broken it is. I lose my crit. Yeah. Maybe it's a better idea to first get some combo points so they can tank few hits instead of just getting erased in one of them, but I didn't really think about it. But the more combos, the more status, so more safe you are that the radiation procs somewhere. Let's do it again. We're gonna lose some shields, meanwhile we stack Noctua. Boom, 1k Eclipse nearly. We press the clones this. Boom. They die before we get to get some radiation proc. But here we go. Easy. We can tank the Acolyte with it. As long as we have Prime Sure-Footed. Holy fuck. I was waiting forever for this mod. So you can clearly see what kind of damage you can do with it. Especially with the heavy swings on Tonokai proc. And all of that is supposed to go to your shields. So feel free to stack your shields to like 100k. You're gonna need one hit to get all of them back. Just good luck of getting that much. And I mean, yeah, you can use it with every frame. But from frame to frame it just gets more stupid. So there's one more frame I want to show you. You can say hello to my Vault. The build for him is coming very soon. He's even more broken for it, but I'm gonna use him with different weapon on the build. And yeah, this is how it goes with him, especially with that shield in front of you that will block all the projectiles. You will be just constantly keeping your shields safe. 2.6k shields, decent, considering there is no mod for shields. I think, at least. Not sure. I don't even know what I have modded on him right now. I just pick him because I know how solid of a pick he is. And yeah, I could do it all day long. Look on the kill, how fast it kills. At least you need to look for enemies. This is insane. Oh, I could heal on myself if I hit myself. I got radiation proc on me. You see this? I need to find enemies on the map. It's insane. And I will show him in the video that's coming for him with even better weapon. I mean that this weapon is like, actually I'm surprised how well it still deals with enemies, considering it leeches the shields for you, which makes you basically immortal. As long as you're engaged in your gameplay, you're gonna be immortal. Like, just don't think of too many things, focus on what you're doing. Equals immortality with that weapon. Straight up. And then shoot at me a bit. Nice. So, Vault Speed also gives you some shields back and stuff, but I mean, the moment there's a single radiation proc, it just fulls your shields. Especially if you have influence up, then like, most likely you're gonna have a radiation proc. If you hit several enemies, the follow through doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the damage gets diminished or not. What matters is you to get radiation proc. A single one and it's enough. But look, for anyone wonders that this weapon can do kill per second, just get her even with range, or not even, honestly. Just get some attack speed on it, Berserker Fury or something instead of the Blight thingy. And this is what happens, like literally, I can just boom, run through, forward, do the vault things. So, any quick extermination you wanna do for Relic or anything, this weapon is all available for it. And you're gonna be safe as fuck. 2.6k constant shields. I actually wanna check if I have the shield build, because that's like all from me for now. All I wanna see if I have the shield on my vault or not. So I'm not gonna show it to you, I'm gonna show you the build in the video that's coming for him. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, see you on the next one. And god damn it, I had the shield mod on. What a shame, I was losing so much ability strength for completely no reason.